Leading a startup team, whether you're delivering a sugar rush, stocking coffee, or getting a regular delivery of snacks, Office Depot has solutions that fit every startup culture, from getting those first business cards and stationery to ordering fleece pullovers with your new logo. To learn how Office Depot and the California Technology Council have partnered to bring you savings on all of these startup essentials and more, go to californiatechnology.org/member benefits. I'm Daniel Levine, and this is the Bio Report. Dmitry Kaminskiy does not have a lot of kind words for aging. In fact, the general partner at Deep Knowledge Ventures and managing trustee of the Biogerontology Research Foundation has called it the ultimate evil. As part of his ongoing war against aging, the venture capitalist is offering a $1 million prize to the first person to reach the age of 123. We spoke to Kaminskiy about the latest report from the Biogerontology Research Foundation, which offers an overview of the longevity industry today, how a shift in medicine from treatment to prevention will alter lifespans, and what he's trying to accomplish with his longevity prize. Dmitry, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation. My pleasure.
We're going to talk about a wide range of topics from blockchain technology to longevity today, and the work you're doing both with Deep Knowledge Ventures and the Biogerontology Research Foundation. You've called aging the ultimate evil. What do you mean by that?
Well, good question. We can start with another question. What should be considered as the ultimate good? And in my view, the ultimate good should be probably the extension of healthy period of life for all people on the planet. So, if this will be the ultimate good, obviously the aging will be the ultimate evil as an opposite. Aging and age-related diseases.
You recently issued a challenge. You're offering a $1 million prize for the first person to reach their 123rd birthday. Why the prize? What are you hoping to accomplish with this?
So, probably many people know the previous life record belongs to Jean Clement, who died in 1997 at the age of 122 years and 6 months. So with this prize, the idea was to bring attention to that fact, and that life record was done 20 years ago. Obviously, since that time, the progress in biomedicine made significant, leapfrog forward, and therefore, obviously, people now should consider to reach at least that, let's say, age and surpass it, exceed it. And the idea of this prize was just, to bring attention to this specific actual fact which happened in human history. Because a lot of other people just don't know about the facts, and for them it's kind of, just kind of some theoretical, non-realistic stuff.
You think people need an incentive not to drop that at 122?
Let's say, once again, I would state that now in current days, many people can technically achieve that life record and, probably much beyond. How much beyond? It's the question, regarding more regarding technology rather than theory. And we're most of experts nowadays considering that 125, 130 years quite doable, quite possible on biomedicine technological side.
Is there any reason to believe there's some ultimate limit, some wall that human life can't get beyond?
Again, around this question in particular, there's a lot of discussions, specifically, in the circles of scientists. However, if you consider opinion of quite significant figures in the business, for example, Jack Ma or Samayoshi Son, that guy is considering that people will be able to live up to 200 years. We, probably being from technical point of view a little bit more pragmatic rather than scientists who have too much discussions on this particular point regarding limit of life or predictions where people will be able to live up to 200 years, 500 years. So we are applying quite different methods, and they are described very precisely, and with on very technical level in our analytical reports. We are applying so-called technology readiness levels, which are quite common in aerospace, in engineering industries. So applying that method, you can predict, you can forecast what technology do we have now in capacity to achieve, to execute some goals. In that case, it is, what type of rockets humanity or engineers are capable to design and, to build, to assemble. Now, if to apply the same methods to human bodies, and to consider what technologies in particular do we have now in our disposal, so this 120 years, 125, 130 will be considered as realistic. Could be this, close stomach like 150 or even 200 years. I'm not sure that current technologies, provides these capabilities. At the same time, again, I would say that much more important not to make a goal regarding this life extension, like absolute life extension, but to focus on extension of healthy period of life, to improve, to raise the normal limit when people are yet active, productive, and enjoying their life, not just living artificially extending their life, but not enjoying it.
The prize, of course, reflects your interest in longevity. I think many people might be surprised to discover how large and growing an area of activity this is. You just authored the second volume in a series of reports from the Biogerontology Research Foundation. The first volume looked at the science of longevity. Here you look at the business of longevity. What are you trying to do with these reports?
Well, we started to, to conduct research on this field, the science of longevity, and then later the business of longevity, approximately 2 years ago. And, we were quite surprised on our side when after maybe half a year or maybe 1 year, we understood that the field is much more wider rather than we could consider at that time. So that's why we had several times, to postpone the release of the reports, just because the more we work, the more we recognize that there's more and more scientists, entities, different non-profit foundations, research labs, companies, technologies in the field. Some of them are not considered from traditionally as that they have particular relation to longevity, to life extension, or preventive medicine. But on real practice, the indeed very significant amount of entities around the world have relation to, somehow related to preventive medicine, extension of health period of life, and in that broad sense to longevity. Now, with this report, the main idea, the main goal was to create framework, like periodic chemistry table, just to identify what exact technologies, companies, scientists, and multiple other entities should be considered as parts, as elements, as compounds of this entire very broad longevity science and longevity industry.
So how did you go about in terms of defining the landscape?
Well, once again, we decided, to just, let's say, when we were researching this field, what we found out that there's a lot of data, a really significant amount of data, really very significant amount of different studies, research, articles, so on and so forth. However, not so many infographic mind maps, or just kind of landscape, providing understanding who is doing what, where, and how they are, let's say, tangible in the sense that they can provide something, practically, any practical application. And if you consider any other industries, for example, let's consider like financial, fintech, blockchain, artificial intelligence industries, there's multiple mind maps, multiple analytical reports which providing, just understanding the landscape of the industry for decision makers, for, let's say, people who are making decisions and therefore can make an impact, positive impact for further progress of the industry. With the same aim, just we decided to apply that approaches, quite well developed approaches for longevity industry, to provide this, infographic tools for understanding the entire field, the entire industry. And let's say, many people now give us their, let's say, opinions that it's really useful, just in simple but quite tangible way to provide understanding of this field with this so-called infographic landscape, infographically designed landscapes of the entire industry.
Can you offer some broad brushstrokes on the industry today?
The main goal of the report, because there's in the reports, in both reports, the science for longevity and the business for longevity, there's a lot of so-called snapshots, a lot of infographic mind maps on different parts and different segments of the industry, including science, including specifically business, including many other specific sides of the industry, specific angles. For example, there's list 4 conferences related to longevity, to neuroscience, the science of aging. There's lists of multiple other organizations, non-profit organizations, research laboratories, list of and mind maps of investors, companies, technologies. So this was exactly our point, to provide as much as possible snapshots. And actually, having that to raise some additional attention of different participants of this industry to participate in these discussions, with the aim that we'll produce updated editions of this report next year, and there will be much more, precise segmentation and much more advanced categorization of particular parts of the industry, but at the same time, obviously, there will be much more, much bigger number of entities, including companies, investors, scientists, which will be, let's say, which will be presented in next editions of this report.
Well, what is the range of companies, and can you offer some sense of how focused they actually are on longevity, or is it that they're developing technologies that are relevant to to the issue of longevity?
Well, during conducting of the second volume, the business of longevity, we identified approximately 500 companies which somehow relevant to the topic of preventive medicine or extension of healthy period of life. Among them, we identified, top 100 which are really clearly related to this preventive precision medicine. We focus on the extension of healthy period of life. Therefore, probably in a year from now, there will be maybe at least 200 of companies. So my point is that in a year there will be the number of companies which will make sense somehow to this field. Probably the number will increase maybe up to 1,000 companies, and at the same time we will identify among them 200 the most relevant. And I suppose we will also apply, some metrics of, let's say, clarity, how much they're really close to be relevant to the industry. In that sense, that you should understand that probably in 5 years from now, most of the biomedicine companies, they will be much more closer. They will switch from treatment, at least partially, to prevention. Some of them in full mode to prevention. But my point is that now most of the companies related to the biomedicine, they're not interested at all to be focused on preventive medicine. 5 years from now, this intention will be much more higher. That's why we need to apply as much as possible metrics just to measure in, let's say, tangible, if not mathematical way.
Let's talk about that shift in medicine of treatment to prevention. Why is that important in terms of longevity, and how well suited are health systems for this type of transformation?
Well, healthcare system probably not suited at all for the transformation. However, governments and healthcare system are not suited at all to aging population, and which is really a significant problem. And it's quite obvious that if governments and national healthcare systems will switch their focus from treatment to prevention, it will provide a lot of benefits for countries, nations, to just kind of national budgets. Just in sense that, for example, to take an account Japan, for them it's kind of extreme problem. Their aging population and national budget has significant deficit specifically because of that problem, and Japan probably should be number one among the countries which will have, they just inevitably will have to create national national strategic initiative to develop preventive medicine and really to switch from treatment to focus from treatment to prevention.
Living longer in itself is not meaningful. The greater issue, as you made allusion to, is extending healthy years of life. What do you see having the greatest impact? Are these going to be biomedical interventions, genetic alterations, or something else?
Actually, it will be probably composition. It will be assembly of all the technologies which you mentioned, and many others. At the same time, for each person in particular, there will be different strategies and different, equations. What exact particular technologies or treatments or interventions will be applied, and they will differentiate from from time to time, therefore it should be not only preventive medicine, but obviously it will be personalized medicine, and obviously it will be medicine which will be significantly empowered by artificial intelligence, diagnostic and prognostic tools, and recommendation system. What exact interventions or treatments should be applied in exact given period of time. been applied for a specific person. Possibly not patient, but healthy person. And therefore, this combination of all the technologies, in the best case scenarios, soon it should be considered not as precision preventive medicine as it is today, but the ultimate goal to transform on the next stage these combinations of technologies towards precision health. So to preserve any given person, preserve their health in the mode of precision health as long as possible.
As a venture investor, what makes longevity a compelling industry in which to invest?
Eventually, this industry will become the most capitalized industry because when humanity will recognize that extension of healthy period of life is doable, is possible, is realistic, and plus to that, because of exponential growth of progress, technological progress, we also can consider that there will be decreasing of cost of these technologies. Just in the same way as it happened with, for example, smartphones. 10 years ago, one smartphone could cost maybe, maybe $1 billion. Now it costs less than $1,000. The same with genes sequencing and the cost of sequencing. So the point is that when this point that people, at least in developed countries, will be able to significantly extend healthy period of their lives, this industry will become the most important industry above all others, and obviously it will become the most well capitalized industry, much more higher rather than, for example, real estate industry on global scale. So that's why, as an investor, it absolutely makes sense to be in this industry, and at the same time, it is the most ethical way for business.
And what do you look for in longevity investments? Is there an example of an investment you've made and what you found compelling about it?
Well, I would say it's easier to say where it do not make sense. Let's say, where are the specific parts of the industry of science which do not make sense to pay attention. I would say that any sector of this rising industry is promising, and any reasonable and relevant investor should consider the broad scale. However, for us in particular, because we came from let's say IT industry, from data science, so that's why for us it was natural to be focused first of all on big data analysis, on the data science, and applying artificial intelligence for drug discovery, in particular for development of biomarkers of aging. And for that, already let's say transitioning this to other practical applications. Obviously now the most popular topic is gene therapies and senolytics.
Longevity on a large scale could have significant implications for society, economic systems, governments, and more. Does this have to be addressed at the same time we're finding ways to extend the healthy life of people?
Absolutely. This should be considered as, from all that angles at the same time. Just because now we have two mega trends. One of them is aging society, which is negative trend. And the other trend, positive, significant rise and development of advanced biomedicine technologies. And each of these two megatrends, they create extremely significant impact on society, on governance, and economics in particular countries, but also on a global scale. And this is why in some of the chapters of Volume 2 is specifically dedicated to these issues, and there are multiple examples and multiple points which we are providing that all these issues should be considered in one, probably it could be named meta system, just because changing on one parameter creates impact, positive or negative, on the other side of the system. Within, let's say, some societies, but also on global scale. And that's why this is important. What is quite common, by the way, among scientists, that they are focused specifically on neuroscience, on science of longevity. Meanwhile, other people are focused on, elderly care, and other people are focused only on financial side. This is not going to work. All these topics should be analyzed, and let's say considered as one united system, and therefore, especially governments, especially big mega corporations, they should apply their efforts to neutralize negative trends, but at the same time to develop positive trends, and to optimize, to synchronize them.
Dmitry Kaminskiy, General Partner at Deep Knowledge Ventures and Managing Trustee of the Biogerontology Research Foundation. Dmitry, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. The Bio Report is a production of the Levine Media Group. To automatically download this podcast each week, subscribe to our RSS feed or through iTunes or other podcast manager. To join our mailing list, go to levinemediagroup.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to drop us a line or are interested in sponsoring this podcast, send email to danny@levinemediagroup.com. Special thanks to Jonah Levine, who composed our theme music, and the Jonah Levine Collective, which performs it.